As we've mentioned a few times, our area dealt with a similar saltwater intrusion issue back in the 80s. Well, we covered it extensively then, just like we're doing now. And looking back, we can see how things have changed a bit. Take a look at this update we ran in 1988.
This ought to do it, say Corps officials. Another 10 feet or so on an underwater dam, and the salt should stop its upstream crawl.
From our engineering standpoint, we will be able to engineer the river to such extent that the salinity will be within the acceptable limits.
The Corps needed $2 million to finish the dam. They got that today, plus another $1 million to keep the freshwater barges operating in Plaquemines Parish. The dam should be finished by the end of the month, in plenty of time, say New Orleans officials, to keep our water fresh.
Calculations that we've looked at so far indicate that we shouldn't get above 300 parts per million. Now, if these calculations are correct, then you shouldn't taste it at all.
Gretna, though, isn't taking any chances. Their intake pipes are at the bottom of the Mississippi, and that's where the salt concentrations are the highest.
We're now in the process of installing a flexible suction line which will enable us to draw water close to the surface of the water, where we feel it'll be the sweetest water, the less salt concentrations.
Health concerns are not an issue with the wedge, say officials. In fact, right now, salt levels in the New Orleans area are well below the taste threshold. Of course, sometimes that depends on who you talk to.
I think it's interesting, and I've met several people in the past couple of days since we've had so much media interest on this, that taste salt in the water.
If the Corps has its way, that will always be something to smile at. And in 3 weeks, we'll all know if the dam downriver is the salt solution. I'm Janet Gross, Eyewitness News, Nightwatch.
Well, it wasn't. According to Tulane University, the sill was built too late to keep that salt water from going up. It got as high as Kenner before it finally receded. Because of that experience, the Corps adopted new rules for when to start building. That's why they started on the current sill back in July. Also, the officials in that story mentioned the salt concentration in the water shouldn't get above 300 parts per million, and that was okay then. Now the EPA's standard is lower at 250 parts per million. And we also looked into it, and Gretna takes its water from the top of the river now, not the bottom.